come out, same story.
Hi friends, it's Livy, and I thought it'd be fun to vlog what it's like to be a treatment consultant. So I'm going to take you along on my trip here. So I am currently at the airport on my way to LA to see some treatment centers, go to networking meetings. So we're going to get started with this trip. I'm going to take you along on some upcoming trips that I have. My flight is going to board very soon, so I will fill you in a little later on the planning for this trip and kind of everything I've been doing, getting ready, and what this is going to be like. I'm also waiting for my Starbucks order right now. Yeah, we're going to get going on this, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's get on our flight. So, lots of drama at the airport. It is now almost 5 p.m. My flight was supposed to leave at noon, and we got stuck on the tarmac due to weather for a long time. They let us off the plane. Then we kept getting messages, it's going to move back and back and back, and then they just called that we're getting reboarded. I don't know if we're leaving anytime soon, and I'm still waiting on my food to be ready, so I'm hoping I can grab something to eat before we have to leave. It's just been the longest day, and apparently there's like lightning storms, and that's why we haven't been flying. And yeah, I've already been here for like it's been almost 5 hours since we should have left. So I definitely missed my meeting today in LA, but we're gonna get on with it. So here's hoping. So after an extra 5 hours added to our travel, made it to LA. So I'm at LAX right now. Oh my God, my friend is coming to pick me up, so I'm gonna keep this part kind of short, but what a freaking day. The plane was first delayed because it got backed up in like the order of when flights could take off, and then we went back to the gate to refuel, and then a thunderstorm started, so then we were paused for weather. So we did get to get off the plane. I think I recorded a little bit of that, which was nice. We got to stretch our legs, get some food, and then quickly reboarded again, like almost no warning. I almost missed it. And then, you know, we had a 5+ hour flight from LA. So I am here 5 hours later than expected. I missed my networking meeting tonight that was going to be hosted by a treatment center. I was really looking forward to it. But while we were grounded in Newark, I canceled my rental car so that I'm not paying for it today. So I got to figure that out tomorrow. And I've got texts coming from clients and friends, and so I got to work on client stuff. My dog Shira has apparently been rubbing her eyes a lot. We're worried if that's a thing. Yeah, so lots to figure out. I am in need of a drink and sleep, because it feels like 10:30, almost 11 p.m. if I was on the East Coast where I came from, but we're in California, baby, so it's only 7:45 now. So yeah, I gotta stay up a little bit longer, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with my friends. I'm staying with my friend Sergio and Whitney tonight, well, for the couple days I'm in LA, so I'm really thankful for them letting me stay. Yeah, so we'll pick up tomorrow with more on the travel saga, and I'm going to go tour treatment centers pretty much every day this trip. So I'm going to take you along for parts of it. I might not really film while I'm there because I don't want it to be weird, but I'll give you updates of kind of what it's like being an eating disorder treatment consultant. So let's go along for the ride. Okay, it is the next morning now, and it was great to sleep. I am staying in my friend's room. He was so kind and took the couch and gave me his bed, which was so nice. So yeah, this morning I guess last night, got home, had some very questionable Thai food that I actually ended up throwing out because I don't think the chicken was cooked all the way through. And I was like, I'm not getting food poisoning. So then I just ate some snacks last night. We caught up for a while, and I went to bed very, very late. It was so fun just catching up with my friends. And So then slept really hard because I was so exhausted. And thankfully, because of the time change, I got up before my alarm went off this morning. So started getting ready, still in my pajamas right now because I have a little time. Last night I organized a car rental. So in a little bit, I'm going to Uber over to pick up my rental car and then head over to tour Trellis Eating Disorder Center in LA. I'm really excited about that one. It's a newer one. So I've talked to the reps before, but I don't know much about it. I haven't had any clients go there, so I'm excited to get there and see it and everything. And in the meantime, I'm going to do a little video editing, work on this vlog a bit, work on my BroadwayCon presentation video a bit, because I'd like to put that one out for you all to see as well. So yeah, today for the vlog, not super exciting because literally the only thing I need, or the only appointment I have today is with Trellis. So this evening, I need to figure out what I'm doing. I need to probably make some calls. I am working on getting a client into treatment right now, and we just got a denial from the place we were trying to get her into. So now I am looking at alternatives. So I need to call around to a few more places. So I guess this is probably just like, even though it's kind of a weird setting, may as well be a good time to like explain a little bit of how the day-to-day of treatment consulting works. So let's get into that. So when I'm working with a client for treatment consulting, there are a lot of moving factors. So what it looks like on the client side is once they decide they want to work with me, our first step is we set up an initial assessment, screening, phone call or video call. And it's about an hour and a half. And I go through a lot of intensive questions, both, demographic and diagnosis wise, as well as more personal information. What has their treatment history looked like, if they've had any, if they've been denied from programs, what's happened there, what's the reasoning behind that, what other diagnoses do they have besides their eating disorder, especially ones that might complicate what they're getting into, or just so we can find a place that's actually going to be able to meet all of their needs. No one is a textbook case of just one diagnosis. I want to make that like very, very clear. It's so incredibly rare, if ever, that someone is one diagnosis. People are always multifaceted, both in just who they are as well as what conditions they have going on and what they need help with. So we're looking for programs that are going to be able to meet the whole spectrum of their needs. I'm also going to turn on the light in front of me and see if that helps. One second. Hopefully that makes it a little bit better to see my face. We'll see. But what happens after that initial call? So I have all this information gathered, including, what are their no-goes? Like, are there things that they absolutely would not go for? So, do they deeply desire or deeply not want a program with a religious piece to it? Like, there are some particularly Christian programs, some people would like love that, and some people are like, no, please don't put me there. Do they want a specific gender only program? Do they want a mixed gender program? And lots of other factors like that. As well as if we're just working on finding outpatient providers, do they want in-person or telehealth? What state do they live in, so that we can make sure that the licensure is appropriate? Who do they already have on their team? What do we need? And then I'm going to be following up with any providers that they currently have. So if they are working with a team, if they've recently stepped down from care, or they have outpatient people, I get a release and try to talk to those people to see, what are their takes on it? What level of care do they recommend? What can they tell me that the client didn't tell me? So I have a more well-rounded picture. This is truly to just help find the best care for someone. And then I get to do the deep work. This is the work that the clients don't see, but takes up the bulk of my time. And this is reaching out to the different treatment programs and calling around and seeing who's going to be a good fit for this client. So the front end of this, before I even have a client for it, is what this trip is about, and that is going out to see the programs boots on the ground. I want to get in there and make sure I understand what are the living situations like, try to talk to some of the staff members, the dietitians, the therapists, see what the environment is like that the clients are in, understand more of what the meal program is like and what the facilities involve. Just get, a feel, a gut check for the facility and take notes on that. I don't want to believe that there are any like truly bad programs for everyone. I think different programs fit different needs. So I want to really assess who is going to thrive in a certain environment and who is not going to do so well. So I have extensive spreadsheets on all of these programs and providers that I'm meeting with, and it has everything from demographics they take to philosophies to location to, what are my feelings about it, or what have I heard about them, what's their reputation, all of that kind of stuff as well. So lots of information that I am personally collecting. This is really the intellectual property of my business. This is the stuff that you can't just pick up, like you have to go and do. So then when I've got a client, I am calling these programs. Sorry, there's a fan over here. I keep getting hair blown into my mouth. So let's see if we can fix that. So I'm calling around these programs and finding a fit for the client. So I'm calling saying, hey, I got this client with, these diagnoses, or this age, this gender, blah, 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 go through kind of a little case consult. And they'll say, yeah, that sounds like a type of client that we take, or, no, we don't take that age, or we don't take that diagnosis, or we're not going to be a good fit. Some of the places have been really great and like, we're not going to be a good fit for that, but who might be, and they'll give me another recommendation. And so I'm calling around until we find some that are like, yes, it's both my gut check saying this is a good fit, as well as the program saying, yeah, this is the type of client that we will accept. So we're looking for that marriage there. And then I, obviously I'm checking if their insurance is accepted and things like that, if they're hoping to use their insurance. Then I give that information to the client, see how they feel about it, and then encourage them to do the initial assessment phone call. These are the parts that the client does have to complete on their own. They do need to do their own assessment. They do need to do, their own medical checkups and anything else that the program requires. And then I am holding their hand through the rest of the process. I am making sure that they're on top of getting these things done. I'm calling in, checking in. If we hit a roadblock or a denial, I'm following up on that, seeing, why did the program deny them, or what are the holdups, following up with my contacts, and really just seeing, how can we make this work? And if it doesn't work, then we move on to the next program on my list for the client. So ideally, we get into our first choice program. Often that's not the case, but I keep a short list of programs when I am assessing a client, like, okay, based on my prior knowledge, these are programs that I think will fit. If they have a preference, like if they have been to a program before and really liked it or really didn't like it, we of course take that into account. And so then we're doing that, and then they get accepted to a program, and we make sure that they have all the information they need for that. And then I'll be there on the other end to help with discharge planning and next steps. So that's a lot of information. That's in a nutshell what I do. Obviously very complicated when we get into like the day-to-day, but that's just to give you a little overview of that. So right now I'm gonna get to editing some videos, and then we're gonna get ready to head over to Trellis. Little bathroom outfit of the day. I found this really cute Anthropologie outfit at a thrift store, actually. So I'm really excited. Like, look at how cool this fabric is. My favorite colors together are green and pink. So I think it's really cute. And we're gonna head out in just a minute to go get the rental car and head over to Trellis. Hey everybody, it's the next day and I am in Westlake, California, so slightly north of LA proper, and was touring the PHP IOP for Elsana. Actually, the building is behind me, so they're in more of a business park, which is actually pretty typical for PHP IOPs. I've been finding most of them do find their way into more office building type spaces. One thing I thought was really cool about this one is they were able to build out a custom kitchen in this office, which is pretty unheard of, and it was ginormous and glorious and beautiful, and that was cool. So it was nice getting to meet the program directors and some of the dietitians and therapists and get to chat a little more about that program. I've sent clients to residentials with Elsana before, but hadn't gotten to know this program, so it was nice to get to sit down and learn more about them as well. And hoping to go tour their local, I think it's a Westlake residential facility as well, so we're just waiting for some more confirmation on that. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go find some lunch in Westlake and hang out for a bit. Then head back. I've got some phone calls to make for a client and then a networking event tonight in downtown LA. So let's go. So it is now Friday morning and I'm just about to head out for another day of tours. Last night I showed a few little clips from a networking event. That was so much fun. It was probably the highlight of my trip so far, getting to see some people that I hadn't seen in a while, like my friend Charlie who was hosting it, and then meet a lot of new practitioners in the LA area and like just hang out at a beautiful venue and have yummy food and drinks. And yeah, it was just a really fun night. I took a Lyft there and back because I didn't want to deal with LA parking and traffic, and just figured the stress level was worth the cost. And it was. I'm very happy with that decision, even though I didn't want to spend that money. So today, I've already been on the computer, both updating my spreadsheets for the treatment centers that I've been talking with, and I went and toured Elsana's PHP IOP yesterday, so updating all that information, and then was following up about my client as well, texting with mom and checking with some other treatment centers. They're doing an assessment today with a program, so hopefully that goes well and they get approved. Fingers crossed on that one. This is just a difficult case. I'm working with some in talks with a few other places for this client in case that doesn't work out. And then today I am visiting a primary substance use treatment center. I know they do residential, and I want to say they do quite a few levels of care there, so I'm going to learn more about that. And then I'm going to head up and see what I was supposed to go to Alsana's residential program in Thousand Oaks yesterday, and we had to change up the schedule, so I'm heading up there today. So it's going to be a lot of driving today, which is what it is. That's LA, baby. And then tonight, I'm going to have dinner with my friend that I'm staying with here and pack up because I need to leave early in the morning tomorrow because I have a 4+ hour drive and need to drop the rental car off by noon in SLO. So we're going to be kind of wrapping this up tonight for this vlog. But thanks for coming along, and let's see what happens today. So this is outside at Breathe Life Healing Center in LA. Apparently this property used to be owned by Mariah Carey, so I just thought this was really gorgeous. So having some lunch in the car while I am going to my next destination. I have a Zoom call, and then I'm heading to Alsana. Breathe Life was really cool. There's so much to do. I think this person wants my spot, so I'm gonna take off. I'm back at the apartment. So exhausted. This has been a long trip, and we're still not done, but toured the last treatment center I'm going to see on this trip. So I went to the residential Alsana in Thousand Oaks, California this afternoon. Very quiet. Like lovely staff, but just it's a very quiet house. It was interesting, beautiful. I think they said it was like 6,000 square feet. These treatment centers, they're pretty fancy. And it also, from seeing places on this trip, I've gotten the confirmation that in the state of California, at least with eating disorders, residential treatment centers max out at 6 beds. So they are all going to be these smaller facilities versus other states where you could have, 14, 20, 60 beds in a facility. All of the California ones are capped at 6 for the residential facilities. So I thought that was really interesting. And it explains why like all the programs out here seem to be smaller. But that's, in my opinion, generally a good thing. You're going to get more individualized care at these smaller facilities, so that's good. But I'm going to go ahead and close out the vlog here. I'm going to take a little break, hop on the computer, get some more work done, potentially hop on a call with a client, and have dinner with my friend and get packed up. Tomorrow I head up to San Luis Obispo to see family and friends. So I'm not going to be vlogging that part of the trip because that's just very much my personal life. But I'm glad you joined me along for this trip into kind of what a week in the life of the travel part of my consulting looks like. I'm going to plan to do more of these. The next trip I have planned is in 2 weeks. I'm going to Alabama and Tennessee, and I'll be bringing my dog Shira with me. She is a psychiatric service dog for me in training. So it'll be a different vibe, and you'll get to see what it's like to travel with a dog. I'm going to be staying in hotels instead of staying with friends, so it's going to be a completely different experience. And it looks like for the next while in my life, I'm going to be living out of suitcases a lot. So if this is of interest to you, join me along for the ride. I'm going to vlog as much as I can, as long as I find it enjoyable. But thanks for being here. If you have questions about getting help for yours or a loved one's eating disorder, please contact me. My information will be in the description below. You can check out my website and all of my offerings. I do a lot more than treatment consulting, but this is the main part of my business. So I hope that you found this interesting, and see you next time. Bye.